And we are live.
Appropriate a Rift commercial.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it the...
Yep.
Was it about, oh...
Appropriate a Rift commercial.
Plain touched? Was it? Okay, well, I guess it is appropriate. And I heard audio through Twitch.
Great.
Woo! And then that's my cue to not hit the wrong key anymore. By my clock, it's 2 o'clock, which means it's 11 a.m. server. And welcome to the DTC Roadshow. This is Fiendish, and we're here today with Dimension Diva. Welcome back, Diva.
Howdy. Thank you.
Jador, and our touring guest today is Rynraff at Deepwood. Hello, Rynraff.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to get started with some news. In case you weren't tracking, like last week I wasn't tracking, if you complete the Nightmare Saga Part 2 and you get your Orpheal Fairwind Dimension NPC, he can port you into Port Scion, not the PvP Warfront, but the separate instance that you do during the saga, and there are artifacts that spawn in there. There's 9 artifacts that spawn per instance reset. Reset lasts about an hour. When you complete those instances, or when you complete those artifact sets, there's 5 sets, you get a Nightmare Saga Sky Projector and a Geffen NPC. Let me tell you, this Nightmare Saga Sky Projector is on point. It's totally unique from the ones that are currently available for purchase. The Geffen, he's super cute. He dances. When you poke him, he'll fall down and play dead. Yes, and these items are bind to account, so they're not soul-bound. So in case you have some low-level alts that you want to put this on, you can send it to those alts. And that's about it for news. There's not been... I know that some building block tiles were data mined a while back by Riftgrate, but they're still not up on the PTS yet. So are you filling up to covering contest, Eve, or you want me to take it?
You take it. Thank you.
Okay. The same 3 contests are going on that have been proceeding. The first is Cowrie's collaborative post-apocalyptic contest. This ends in 2 weeks. 21 August is the cutoff date for entries. We'll be touring those on the 22nd's Roadshow. The next one is Nouvet's Dungeon Master Contest. It ends on the 29th of August, so the cutoff date is the same day that we'll be touring for those entries. Everything should be open by noon on cutoff day. I believe all details on those are on the forums. And then our last contest, which ends September 15th, is Rynraff's, yep, our guest today, what is it called, back from where we started? Remember where we came from?
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
I'm getting senile in my old age.
I didn't look at it, but basically, yeah, where we started from.
And tell us a little bit about that one, Rynraff.
It's really just when you start, you got this free dim, and then you got your bag of 8 items, and you threw them out, and you went, oh, and then like I don't know, for me, you had no money to buy anything with, and I started it just to kind of get everybody to realize how far we've come because all the new stuff is really great and it's a lot of fun, but sometimes I think we forget, what we really, when most of us started, what we really started with, which was nothing, and the really cool dimensions that were made out of nothing.
Yes, we have come just such a long way from back in the day.
I think that back to basics kind of idea sounds like so much fun for a contest, Rynraff.
Thank you. And it's actually, I've been in my head working on one to put the prizes, which are cakes, in. And, oh, geez.
Always at the worst moment, the phone rings. Well,
Yeah, I'm trying to let it go to voicemail.
well, I do like the prizing on your contest because I don't know, and I'm guilty of this too. Here lately, contest prizes have just been getting higher and higher and higher, and most of the time, people are paying for those out of pocket. Um,
Well, that was the thing. I wanted it just to be fun, something that you weren't doing it for the prize. I mean, other than, well, the birthday cake. I don't know how hard that is
bragging
to get
rights.
anymore. I'm not even sure where I got it from. But um, just to lighten it up, and that's why I wanted not judges. I wanted everybody to judge everybody else's, because I think. I think it's really hard to judge other people's, dimensions. And when a lot of money is involved, there's an extra, just, um, stress is involved. And so I just wanted it to be fun. So that's where the cakes came in, and the idea of, kind of keeping it simple in
I
there.
love it.
I do too, and I think it's
I
a
really,
huge challenge.
I do too.
It
I
is.
think it's a fun and fresh way to do a contest. Really good.
Yeah, and I want to keep putting water in everything. Every idea I have, I'm like, oh, and I'll put a waterfall over there. And it's like, oh, I can't put a waterfall over there because Saida can't use water.
Yeah, I went out and I got a Sanguine Shores because that's one of the specifications for the contest is Sanguine Shores of Worms Point. Um, I went out and I got me a Sanguine Shores and I was tinkering around and trying to build something. I was like, man, this is hard.
It really is. If you and really, there's a lot of stuff you can use if you use all the fishing in the world drops in Mathosian. Um,
It's all we had when we started.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it seemed a
there
lot
is a
easier back
lot,
then.
but we're just, yeah, but we're just so used to, grabbing, like I said, the water. Well, for me, the water is the big one, and so I've had a hard time coming up with one to put the cakes in. So yeah.
Because my thing
So
was
I'm
like,
hoping people will just have fun with it. Really, it's just for fun.
yeah,
I don't know. I just hope people have fun.
and that is the bottom line for any contest is to have fun with it, no matter what the prizes are. Because
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, the prizes when you start getting up into, I think the prize for one of the current contests is 5 Rex. Um, you
Hmm.
know, that's a nice prize. That's a nice little chunk that will go a long way if either if you sell those Rexes for plat or use them on the store. I mean, that's a nice prize, and I'm not saying that anybody's wrong for offering that prize because I mean, shoot, the last prize that Diva and I ran with Rex's reward, I think we gave out a total of 26 Rex.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that was part of my idea behind it too, was to, I think you get I'm never, with the prizes that large, you almost get well, I'm not going to do it just because I know I'm not going to be good enough because the people that are really good are going to go for that big, huge prize.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a little intimidation already in there just because of the huge prize.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm not going to argue. I think contests are a great thing no matter what the prize is, no matter what the theme is. I think contests are a great thing. And, the dimension section of the game is the most active when it comes to contests like that. That's like, I look at it as our version of rating.
That's really a good way to look at it, actually. Good analogy.
But enough about contests and what tends to become a sore subject for some people. Let's go ahead and get started on this dimension I've already been running around. This is your brand new one. You finished it last night, right?
I did at like 2:30 in the morning. Yes.
And it's called Thinking. And this is in Anywhere. And this for you, this one is actually pretty dark.
It is. It is. It actually started out, I was actually trying to plan a dimension, which I never do. I never plan mine. Um, so I had gotten a picture, and it was supposed to be a castle in the sky in a jungle with waterfalls. And as you see, I did really well keeping to the plan. Other than the theme of the jungle kind of, well, not kind of jungle-ish green theme.
Well, the Glumwood stuff really works out well though with this the earth sky. I mean along the walls, and this is kind of subtle along the walls. There's more Glumwood buildings that you can see from down here. And then what brought on the fairies?
Well, I came back from 2 weeks with my parents, and I needed a smile, so I made something that made me smile and stuck it in here.
I love the fairy.
Well, they're very cute.
And it was, thank you. And I had never
Mhm.
made a person before, so I thought, well, we'll try. And that was my effort.
So cute.
Definitely makes me smile.
Me too.
But yeah, this one is a real departure from your normal work, which is really um, normally the one thing that stands out about your work is the color. You do not skimp on the color. You're not afraid of color. Everything is bright. Everything is like, wow. And I
I
They're
love
like that.
beautiful.
color.
Me too.
Yeah, I like color. I like color a lot. I did in the house, in the bar. I did kind of art back to there's color in there. But yes, this was really hard to keep. I kept taking the projector out, and if you actually take the Earth projector out, it gets brighter. And I kept taking it out and then putting it back and going, no, it looks really good this way. So it was hard to actually keep the Earth projector in here.
Well, it does look good this way. I mean, um,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just as beautiful as your other ones, just a different atmosphere, which I also love.
Thank you.
yes, and some of the new the 3.3 items are in here, like the vases and the chest and our one of our two pictures.
Yeah. Some of them I made in dream weaving, which was fun because I got to use the new recipes, and some came from some boxes, which was nice to use something that came out of a box instead of it just sitting there for the next 10 years.
Indeed.
This projector is really great for making red pop.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked it with the blue also.
Yeah.
The the um, the crystal blues. Yeah.
Yeah, it really brings out the blue and red details on these the Brevane chairs, which are a fished up item. Unfortunately, they're fished up in Brevane and Duskin.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I, that's a whole nother thing. But I do wish that there was they'd have that fishing thing all over the place because I like all the old fishing stuff from the boxes. So I've just given up on that, and I'm going to fish where I want and just enjoy it like I used to.
Yeah, I've given up on chasing after Stan's lure. And I haven't even messed with trying to get the recipes from Planer Crafting yet. I don't know if anyone here ever watches the Rift Reforged podcasts that they run every other Thursdays on Twitch. There was quite the debate about planer crafting and crift drop rates and everything else last Thursday, and it was really interesting. They did like a comparison for the apothecary and rune crafting recipes are on the PTS right now, and if it's actually going to be worth it to engage those recipes, because moats are getting
Well, those moats.
moats are getting ready
Yeah,
to
the
be useful
moats.
in things like dream orbs, in some of the rune crafting runes, some of the new health pots and vials. And
Yeah, I know there's quite a debate about the dream orbs on the forums.
yeah, the dream orbs and how the chance for the best in slot orb went from 1 in 15 to 1 in 51.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's for such an expensive item. That's really pretty necessary if you're a raider.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, and the current drop rates on the moats, just for the moats. I mean, the terrain, honestly, the imperishables should stay rare. Those should stay rare. Moats were supposed to be the common drop. And when you have one,
Well, yeah.
my problem is the dimension items. For one dimension items, it takes 100 moats.
Yep.
Are you freaking kidding
Well,
me?
Well,
Right.
and that's like
That's
the
terrible.
fishing poles. That's like the fishing poles, which is why I don't even have the recipe for one because I was all excited about a new fishing pole and I'm like 100 moats, and then you heard on the Dimension chat people were doing 30 riffs and they didn't get one moat, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to
Yep.
be kidding.
Yeah, in 4 weeks I've gotten 4 moats, and the only reason why I have 4 is because somebody in my guild gave me 1.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Well, the crifts I've done, I've gotten 4 moats.
I haven't
Yeah,
even
that's
used
crazy.
my lures this week. But if Probies is running a thing tomorrow, I might hop along and use my lures then. But we're getting
This
distracted
is
here.
such a Yeah, this is such a pretty dimension, Rynraff, and I think Fiendish commented on this, but you have some of the houses off in the distance at different levels, and um, just the transformation is just so pretty here. I mean, one of the things about anywhere is, of course, it's totally empty, so every little speck is added by the builder, and you've created all these different levels around in the background too, which just adds such great detail.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really tired of putting rocks down. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Were you ever tempted to maybe swap it out to Mythosian Cascades?
It wasn't around yet, so I didn't have the I didn't have the opportunity.
So I know, thanks to thanks to some people and thanks to minions, I've gotten a few Mythosian Cascades keys now, and I'm already planning on breaking down some of my anywheres and transplanting them so I can pull some of that item count back. A lot of that item
Yeah,
count.
I was going to say a lot of the item count, and actually, I have a lot of room left in this one, so I'm thinking eventually I might the path that goes all the way in the back. I might actually open that up and I don't know, do something back there.
Yeah.
But it looks like I have a lot, but then if you cover the ground, then you really don't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we'll see.
but
It's one of those on the back.
this one's also quite a bit bigger than most of your normal builds too, because one of the
It
trademarks of yours
is.
also is that they're generally really small.
Yeah, I like the small ones because I don't get overwhelmed with it. And and I finish them, I guess. Which I liked reading that article that was on the that was posted
Yeah, that
about
was
finishing things.
from Resi, our newest
Yeah,
contributor. Yep, a guy.
yeah, yeah. Because that's one of that's one of the reasons why I actually do the small ones because I then I'll finish them because I don't get overwhelmed. They're not too big. Where this one, yes, definitely. I just made the trees really big though, so it helped.
You're so good with details, though. When I'm in your small dimensions, I'm always amazed by your item count. It always looks like, double the items that you have actually used. I think we're going to go and visit a couple of those on this roadshow.
We are, but our next stop is another large one, and it's the Disobedience Guild dimension, which has Oh, look at that! I got a guild invite while my UI was off, which
Oh.
has quite possibly one of the best dimension names I've seen. And an inaccurate name.
Yeah, there's a whole story behind that name.
We want to hear the story.
We do! Tell it!
There was a guild that when I first started playing Rift that me and a bunch of friends were in, and we had built this in a Stoneflask Tavern, a really cool guild dimension. And the guild ended up breaking up, and ended up moving to Deepwood, and I ended up getting a bank, and luckily for me, when the Dream Orbs came out, I made enough money selling them that I could buy a dimension and stuff. But I had never planned on, and I bought a guild or a guild dimension, but I never planned on doing anything with it, and so I named it the Math because I stuck a a big Ashora mountain over the tavern, and that was it. That was what I did, and I left it because to me in my mind nothing could top that other guild dimension that I had worked on with friends, and then it so happened that two friends of mine ended up coming into my guild bank, and my one friend, Baby J, she ended up starting working on the guild dim, and she was all excited. She actually did the blue artwork when you first come in, and placed the gloom walls, and I was just, it was really hard because I was like, but I'm not supposed to be working on it, and it ended up that the three of us having a lot of fun building this, and it got me over kind of some hard times, and it is what it is now today. So yeah, and I like it. But poor baby Jay, she walked in and there's this big ashore mountain over the thing, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And the funniest thing was is that we made it to get all the way up to the top. I don't know if you're on the top or not yet.
No, I'm lost in
And
the water.
oh, okay. Well then I won't say yet until you get to the top.
I'm on my way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on my way back up now.
Because there's kind of a joke when you get up there.
Now I noticed that you use the Conquest Sky a lot.
I do. I like the little green floaty things in the sky, and I like the way it changes the color of like the trees.
Yeah, it really does a lot to
This
sharpen.
is the one that I fell in love with, the preposterous trees. I actually looked the name up again this morning because they're cheap and with the Conquest Sky, I really love the way the color is on them.
You went all the way up? I have to find it.
Yeah, there's an
There's a
elevator.
Loggerman's. This is
Yeah.
It goes up?
the
Okay.
only part of the tavern to be seen.
Yes, I couldn't get rid of the smoke, so I ended up making and that was my first little morph of a cooler
That's
with beer
clever.
in it.
And hard to believe this is just about 1,500 items.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems impossible.
I know you were saying
Yeah,
right before we started that you're kind of a less is more type of builder.
yeah, I think so. I get to the point where, I mean, there's some places in here, like down at the bottom under the Glomwood Bridge and in that camping area, that someday I'd like to, finish or add stuff to it. But we really just ran out of room and didn't have the money to up it to level 5.
Yeah, because that's
But
a
I
healthy
think
chunk.
it gets to the point where, yeah, exactly. But for me, it gets to the point where if I keep adding stuff, it just looks, to me, it looks just like a mess. And not even an organized mess, it just looks like a mess. So,
Well, I love this shower
and
up
this ended
here.
up to be an
That's
organized mess.
that's in the Stoneflash Tavern that you added.
Yes, that was my friend Baby J asked, she goes, "Do you have a house?" And I'm like, "Oh, let me look." And I didn't even read the name of it, and I sent her the house, and she just started laughing, and I'm like, "What?" And here it was the Stone Flask Tavern that we just
I
moved all the way up to the top.
like your big painting in the entrance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That was the first wall art I ever did.
It's very pretty.
And another thing
You
that
And
really
through it
made
all,
this feel
oh,
bigger.
yes.
oh,
Sorry.
sorry. I was going to say that my favorite part of this whole place has to be the upstairs of this tavern, though. It was driving me insane because I couldn't get it where I liked it. And then one night, late night, I, I stuck trees in, which is my go-to. And
Yeah,
and then
you always create some uh, beautiful planters inside your structures.
yeah, I like it. I don't know. They're happy. It adds color. I guess it's the color thing, I think. Softens stuff up and
Now
There's
this
another
is,
pretty piece of wall art in this office.
yep. I was just sitting there looking at that. I'm upstairs now, and it's gorgeous up here with all
Yeah,
the light and the colors.
Yeah, it's pretty up here.
yeah.
very
That
warm.
that that made me I just started, like I said, sticking trees in and and then I was like my smile got bigger and bigger and yeah, that was good.
When all else fails, throw a bush on it.
Mhm. Mhm. That is my philosophy.
Like the furniture morphs that you do, also.
Thank you.
You do a lot of
This place
combinations.
feels a lot bigger than their average stone flask, I gotta
It,
tell ya.
it does.
And then out on the patio here, um, the pool is actually um, uh, th- the same kind of pool as the old dimension that that I had helped work on. So that's where that came in. That was kind of the homage to the old dim.
This is a beautiful pool up here. Hot tub.
And it's
Yeah.
fun because people just come and sit in it and talk and yeah, it's fun.
Or run around in it with plate armor on that would normally get all rusty.
I know. Well, I think that's the funniest part is when you have all
Guilty
these
as
people
charged.
with clothes on and we're all sitting in there and just their heads are showing.
There's one thing I noticed in your builds also is that you like to use a lot of um, natural stuff in your furniture designs as well, like tree stumps and you know, like these boggling stumps out front.
Yeah. 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 I um I guess it's just I like outdoors. Um I think it's fun to take outdoorsy stuff and see how you can dress it up. And usually I'm not disappointed.
Well, and even like these elven tables that you used for the seating up here on the deck. I mean, you have beautiful vegetation everywhere, but it kind of brings it in more too. So pretty. I think I'm pretty bad at um, item selection related to trees and flowers and vegetation, and so it's always one of my favorite parts of other people's dimensions. You on the other hand, are quite excellent at it. I have tried to get tips from Fiendish, and luckily she writes these great guides on the DTC, so I can go read those. But sometimes when I ask for a tip, she tells me, "I don't know, just throw stuff down."
Yeah, I think my biggest I think my biggest tip with working with is vary the heights of stuff
Oh, that's good. Yes.
because uh, because in real life stuff is varied. It's not all the same or facing the same. So always put something in and turn it and put
Yeah.
things at different heights and different sizes. And it's
Yeah,
amazing
those
what the same tree will look like or the same bush or, that kind of thing.
yeah, those are great tips.
Yeah, the I usually do the the greenery first, and then I have this empty house, and then I go, oh, now I have to fill the house. And that's what takes me the longest is filling the things out, the insides of stuff.
Did you
Which,
plan that if you go off the edge up top that you would land on this path? Did you plan that? That's amazing. If you did.
no, I don't think so. I don't think that was planned.
That's
The
amazing.
long silence was the giveaway.
Yeah, I'm like,
That would be
When
a
you
no.
drop all the way down, you land right on a nice elven bridge.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's called Silverwood Bridge, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I landed on the roof of the tavern, and I'm gonna stop at this little campsite and grab me a beer out of the cooler.
Oh, get one for
Yeah,
me.
I love this little fire
That,
pit camp area.
yeah, that was fun to make that little cooler. That was the first, like, okay, I'm gonna make a cooler. And then it was like, okay, now how do I make a cooler?
Yeah, it's always problem solving is this kind of the approach I take to things. It's like because we get used to having certain items and things that we have around us in day to day life, and it's like, well, okay, now how do I recreate that?
Right, right. And a lot of it is, well, the more you play with the items, But I still find it's like, well, what's that? Oh, well, that's a stairway turned over. And I'm like, really? So I don't turn things over enough like I should, just to see what they look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Campfire's awesome. I love it.
it is, and I bet the item count on it was great because it's part of the natural part of the base dimension.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really creative problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm coming around the front side where there's some more little uh, seating areas.
Oh, down, yeah.
Included on the bridge where
I
you
like
have
little
your little ring
nooks.
box.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like little nooks and crannies and little areas.
Me too.
All right, so this is a great dimension. You and
Great for
your
explorers
friends.
too.
Yeah, you and your friends
Yeah.
did some good work here.
Thank you.
Where are we off to next?
We are off to Fetid Plains. Random thoughts. I always like this one, and Fetid Plains is one that so few people use. And I just, the sky in here is something that I've always loved ever since it came out. I love the sky in here.
This one was fun to work on.
Yeah, because it's like,
This one started because I got I finally had two of the water, the big water, what do you call them? Large pool on a pedestal.
uh-huh.
And that's what this started with, because I got those and I wanted to use them somehow. So that was the planning behind this.
It's my favorite. Well, my favorite area in this whole one is up this pirate stair. These two little mausoleum houses. Even though they're
That was the
closed
first
off.
part. Yeah, that was the first part I did on that.
This can't be 382 items.
Yeah.
Gosh, I really love your landscaping.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful.
And I really
Me
want
too,
to
and
go
I
through
love
this
the
door.
colors here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you use add-ons when you build, or do you do everything by hand? Well, it's all by hand, but or do you use it to
Well,
help
yeah,
you?
yeah. I how do I put this? I started using the copy and paste not very long ago. And last night was the first time I ever did a twirl or swirl.
Spinning stuff out?
Yeah, spinning stuff out. Um, I followed your directions actually, which were really good. The pictures on how to do it to make the table in the thinking dimension. But no, 99.9% of my stuff is just placed. I do love the copy and paste because now my floors, are straight. And that. But I'm not real good with math. So.
Well, copy and paste. I don't know. Copy and paste is probably one of the things I know I use the most of. But just because I like those straight floors that are aligned and walls that are straight and.
Yeah, I mean it just makes your life easier, the copy and paste. I mean, so I can't say I don't use add-ons because I use the copy and paste now all the time because it just if you're making a kitchen and you're trying to line up cabinets or anything, you know. But even that, I think I have it in there correct, straight, and then you move it and it's off a little bit, but at least it's the same height when you use copy and paste. So yeah, I have both the add-ons on there, but that whatever twirl or swirl or whatever I did last night was. I have a feeling I'll be using that a few more times
Oh,
because that was fun.
It's addictive.
Yeah, I could see that.
When you do it a couple times, you're like, well, let's see what else I can spin out.
Exactly. That was exactly that what I went through. And really because I read the directions and my eyes crossed and luckily you had the pictures there and then I clicked on there and saw where to put the numbers in and then of course I put them in the wrong way and I just kept moving the numbers um, until I had it spin the right way I wanted it to to be. So it was a table instead of a whatever.
I think I end up having some dimensions that have like 20 of a little object I created, and so it's been wonderful for that because you just make a little set and then you go ding 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 and you've got, all the others. I use it for that quite a bit. Well, I love how
Yes.
you did this vertical. You placed this pool vertically. It's
Yeah.
such a pretty effect.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. Like I said, that was what it started with, and then this is one of the ones that I would do a little bit, and then it would sit, and then I'd have to wait. I was working on another one at the same time, and then I would all of a sudden I'd come in here, and it was like, oh, and then I'd do another little section, which is kind of why it's called Random Thoughts, because it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 different sections that I did at different times, which usually I don't. Usually it's I go in and I have one, one idea comes and it just kind of goes from there.
Well, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, I like the choice of the base dimension, um, the colors, which are directly
Oh yeah.
affected by the base dimension because a lot of the sky, the
Yeah.
ambient light in here provided by the sky.
Is
And I
this the
even left
steps? Is
This
this the
is
steps sky projector? What they ended up with for that?
no, Morbin has its own sky, which is kind of like the Death Sky, but with the cast of, say, a Conquest sky. The
Oh,
ambient light
okay.
just really makes me think of the Conquest sky because it gives that pinkish cast to everything, and just really
Right.
makes these orange colors just pop.
They pop. I mean, the color is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a nice surprise. And then I left it so that you could come out here and actually see what it looked like, the base dimension, because it was just I did that on purpose so you could go around in a circle.
Yeah.
Um, because it was kind of like life in the middle of, yuck.
Yeah, these autumn items in here just are
Oof.
breathtaking.
They really are.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Fetid Plains is even probably one of the easiest base dimensions to cover over too. Um, I mean the trees, the spine trees, and the skulls. The bigger rock will take real easy care of those. But almost no one ever uses this dimension.
Gosh, the sky and the color is
Yeah, there's
amazing.
only a
I may
couple.
have to make myself have one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I'm gonna have to go find an empty Fetid Plains, take a peek at it again.
This is a crafted one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Dreamweaver?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Cool.
And my boats. They really need to stop giving us boats every time you fish.
We're supposed to be selling our own fleet. We're all captains. Our next one is another colorful one, and it's bright, and it's called Snow. And you used a combination in this one that normally would not be expected with the aquatic plants in kestrels.
Yeah, this was fun to make.
Ooh,
But again, with just brilliant color.
nice.
This well, I don't like snow dims. I don't like snow items. But I was using this as my storage, and I got one of the new items, and stuck it, put it in here for storage, and I went, oh, and this is what happened.
Yeah, if anybody saw the tweet that I sent out about your roadshow today, they saw this over here, the Kalari Temple. It's just such with the stained glass item directed at it. I just thought this was so pretty with the snow.
Thank you.
It made a really pretty screenshot.
This was the first time I ever had to use the those cone things or whatever over the house so that it didn't snow in there.
The weather blockers.
Yeah, the weather blockers, which are interesting to work with because
Well, that's one way to put it.
because it changes. Well, like in the house, I had to put it on because it changes the color when you have it. Because at first I started building inside the house with it off, but then when you put it on, it actually changes the color of the stuff inside. So it was kind of it was a big learning experience. That house is actually a shared toolbox set of one of Venus's houses.
Yep, just a little bitty one.
Thank God.
Easy to modify.
Thank God for that. Yeah.
Love the stove.
Yeah,
Thank you. That was fun to make. That was fun.
Well, these couches.
And this
Nice.
was where the first time I saw the cat eat a rat. And I was like, oh, okay.
And the kitty cat.
And I really like this wall mural that you did that incorporates these cherry algae. This is gorgeous.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I love those cherry things.
And
I
the
do too.
century
I like the
plants
shape.
are just great. Yeah, that freeform is so pretty.
And this one is just shy of the tier 4 limit too. So this is another one that looks like it's a lot more. And you did a great job with the interior of this little shell frame that I made.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Looks way better than the inside
Yeah, it got
of
a
the
little-
one I used it for.
It got a little tight in the bedroom area there.
Yeah, well, the frame that when I used it, I put that frame in Sanguine Shores, and the main reason I used it is because it's not a lot of items. It's like maybe 50.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think in this one, I even did a little bit to the back of the house in case I have friends that jump all over the place. Not much, but I actually.
Yep, there's some stairs back here.
Yeah, just a little.
There's so many touches of this kind of dark red magenta color in here. It's so beautiful, and it just sets everything else off too, like the cherry algae that Fiendish was pointing out.
Well, look at the way the Conquest guy makes these flowers, the blue flowers pop.
Yeah,
Oh, it sure
Wow.
does.
the blue flowers.
Yeah, I
the
really
cherry
like the
trees.
Conquest. Yeah, the Conquest guy. That's one of the color.
I love the use of the red trees. Don't see those as often.
Those are one of my favorite trees, actually.
Oh, mine too.
Mine too.
Oh,
So
they're
dramatic.
beautiful.
And if you can find the one with the red leaves, I'm like, yes.
Okay, and our next stop is another one, but it's in a totally different environment. Where did he go?
Is this Earth?
Actually, I was going to hit up, where'd Honeymoon go?
Oh, it's under Renfall?
That's where we're heading next, is Honeymoon.
Oh, Fort Zornos Beach.
Yep, totally different environment from Kestrel's. And again, just with the color.
This was the first house I built from scratch 5 times. Because it disintegrated when I tried to turn it.
So this was the first 5 houses that you built from scratch.
Yes, it was. It's amazing that I actually finished this dimension.
Why I love
I
this
am
little
not
house.
patient. Patience is
Oh, I
not
love
my
it.
middle
House on
name.
stilts. Love it.
In this, I had taken that little house, that the shared toolbox set that Fiendish has, and I made it in a thinking dimension, and then I took the measurements from there because I had no idea where to start to build a house. You know, like how tall the doors should be or the walls or whatever. And so it was a big, huge learning experience, you know, for me. And this was before the minions, so this thing cost me a arm and a leg to build too.
Well, you know, that's why I load those shells, so that way, you know, you can get in there, you can take it apart, you can figure out how it was put together, you know, as, I'm not going to say as a teaching tool, but that pretty much, you know, if somebody
But it
wants
is
to
a
use it
teaching
that way.
tool. Well, yeah, well, that's what I did with it.
After visiting your Fetid Plains dimension, there are a lot of people who are now planning to build in Fetid Plains.
Is there? Oh, good. I can't get Twitch and Rift to work at the same time, so I can't see what they're saying.
With these towels that you made in the bathroom.
Thank you. I got that idea from a friend of mine.
His and her dual shower here.
Yeah. And this one I got lucky because all those trees were on the auction house for cheap. Somebody didn't know what they had.
That's all
This
right.
is a great bathroom.
Thank you.
It's taking advantage of an opportunity.
Yes.
Some really clever furniture morphs too.
Thank you.
It's like, duh, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I was looking at these cabinets and the handles on them.
Yeah, I love the hardware. Very cool.
Those were from, I had those from boxes, so they were the most of something that I had, that when I would open the old boxes, I'd be like, oh, thank you, another one of these things. You know, it was like, well, we'll just set that over there, and you know.
Thank you for sharing. I love it. I love this. And you eat outside. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Can I stay here?
Oh, I wish I could. Yes, you may.
And this window over the bed, I could deal with waking up to
That
this.
view, and yeah, this one I have the time
Yeah.
set for
That view.
the morning. I love the sky in here.
The sky, the
Is
water.
this the natural sky?
Yeah, it's the natural sky, and at this time of day, it doesn't turn the underside of stuff green, which was another big thing in here.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, just like
Yeah, dormant core does it too.
dormant core does that too. It turns the underside of stuff green,
Oh,
depending on the
foggy
time of
and
day.
used. Yeah.
So just at dawn?
Right. And then it gets rid of that green, sickening green undercast, where it looks like it's, yeah. Unless you're going for the green undercast, but I wasn't.
So pretty. I lost my my Fort Zoners temporarily, trying to replace something else, and it disappeared.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's one of those bugs that keeps appearing, reappearing.
Oh, that's
Hope they
okay.
fix that soon.
Yeah, so this one was really all about the house and learning to build a house, and it was like, okay, it's time I learned to build a house.
So next is a castle, right?
And I don't
There you go,
know
Vera.
about
All about the
that.
challenge.
Well, I actually, for me, I do have to kind of challenge myself a little bit, because otherwise, I you run out of ideas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or I do. Or I just have a whole bunch of dimensions with just pink trees in it.
Well, this is great, but oh crap. It's 12:01, but we're going to hit up one last one, and it's called Earth.
Breach chamber, yay!
Yep, breach chamber.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, it's Sanguine Shores. Oh, no, it's not. I
No,
went to the wrong one.
Yep, it's breach chamber.
Ooh.
Did you look up, Jade?
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
So pretty, using that for the ceiling. Love it. So creative.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love.
Wow.
Breach chamber is probably one of my favorites, but it's one of the hardest that it's been for me personally to learn how to use. I don't think I've ever successfully pulled off a build here, but this one, I love this one. I really like the natural transformation pieces that people do in breach chamber. But this one's interesting because you put things like the hunt statues in here.
Yeah, I was so happy to find a place where they fit and looked like they fit
They
and
do.
weren't just stuck out. So I used all of my hunt trophies that I had earned, except for the fire guy. I still have him to find a place for someday.
I think it's pretty unexpected. There's all this pretty stuff, and then there's the death statue. I think it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I just love the mix of it's a structure, it's a landscape in here. I mean, hedges,
Oh, that's
kind
so
of
well
as
said, Diva.
sort of walls. I just love that mix here.
That's really well said. That describes it really well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so they're not very big, but they're, like I said, then I get them done too.
I just can't get over this ceiling in the main room with the chandeliers where you're using the pool with the, existing structure here, and it's just what you've created is, I mean, just awesome.
Thank you. That I hated the ceiling, and I was, yeah. And that's one pool, actually.
That's
I didn't have
For the
amazing.
whole thing?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's one pool just as big as it can get, and if you look on the edges, well, you can see where it doesn't cover quite the whole thing, but I was really lucky that the pool, I mean, that's actually how small this place is, that it's one pool, or how big the pools are, how you want to look at it. Or terrace, I guess it's a terrace pond.
I just think your dimensions are wonderful. This is just has to be one of my favorites. I am a little partial to breach chamber. I love when I find a breach chamber that's just so beautifully done. But I just love the mix of structure and landscape blended here. It's just, I mean, it's perfect.
And the colors.
Thank you.
Oh yes.
Well, the colors, I mean, this place turns the trees and stuff really cool colors.
Yes.
And I mean the trees and the little fairy houses, of course I never know the real name of any items, but coming
I
down
don't.
through the entrance hallway ceiling. I mean that's beautiful too and very unlike the ceiling in the other chamber.
Yeah. That was my portal. That was actually the first thing I did in this one was that portal in the
The
back
portal
there with
is
the
really amazing. It's very
Oh,
mysterious.
I agree.
It's
That's a good
mysterious.
description for it too.
And it's just fascinating.
Love it.
I love it. That's just awesome.
Yeah. And
Thank
the way
you.
the light picks up these mahogany shells. And that really, really,
Oh
really
yeah.
just makes me hope that we get some building blocks that are in that shade of wood.
Yeah, to be honest, when I saw the list of stuff that had been data mined and saw that it was all purple, I hope that's not it.
Yeah.
I really hope that's not it. Because that's not a new texture, that's just a new color.
Yeah, because the walls in that hallway are the mahogany bookcases.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Because we don't have any. We hardly have any warm wood colors. Other than that one with that texture, which is really hard to work with.
Yeah, the carved wood.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mahogany is it's my favorite.
Well, I love this little fountain over here. Just the different varieties of rocks.
Yeah, I had that all done, and then I didn't. There was something about it I didn't like, and I had to tear it all down again and redo it. Yeah.
And the one thing that I
And with that
really like about
pillar,
it,
it's a
I'm sorry, go ahead.
tiny space. I was just, it's hard with those pillars to
Right.
do stuff in here, kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, the one thing that I think I really like about it is you didn't go with the full-fledged waterfall in this tiny little area here. You're actually doing drip lines.
Yeah, yeah, I like the drip lines.
It's really a lovely waterfall.
It
You
is.
guys are so good at that. I suck at it.
Whatever.
No comment.
But that we only ran over by about 10 minutes today. So I know there's still more to see.
Good job.
There is still more to see. If you have time to come hop to Deepwood and check out Rynraff's Dimensions in person, please, please do so because she's got some more that are they're just wow. I mean, like Tower Meadow, all kinds of small little places that are just great to check out. They're colorful, they're bright, new ways to like, you know, see things, how to put things together at the different perspective and just the color combinations. Thank you, Rynraff, for coming on with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I thank you.
And thank you, Jador, for coming again with us today.
Oh, sure.
And welcome back, Diva.
Thank you so much,
Yay,
and I'd
Diva.
like to thank you too, Rynraff. So much fun touring your dimensions today.
Thank you. I'm glad you had a good time. I did.
Well, that's the most important part. Was we want to enjoy the tour. We want to find out about your builds. Um, Next week, we're back to Lathis to go down under with Bella Rosa, where we're gonna slide. We're gonna hang out with some mermaids, and we're gonna have a good time next week on Lathis. So, but
That'll
that
be fun to.
yeah, that will be fun. But that's going to do it for this week. Thank you everyone that tuned in. I hope you enjoy it and have fun building in